I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart perspective. Well, hello and welcome to everyone. I'm so glad to see you all. It is Friday, TGI Friday. I'm so happy to be here with everybody. Now, can you guys think of what we have seen happen this week alone? I mean, there has been so many things that's gone on. We have had a lot of news. In a lot of regards, I think we've had a lot of stuff that's just going on that we really can't put our finger on. And let me ask you guys this. Roosevelt and Danielle and Awesome Alice, Rachel, do you guys feel like it's a little bit much? Like we're getting a lot of information, and in a lot of that information that we're getting right now, it's a bit confusing. Well, that's how I feel. I feel like all of the information that we're getting right now is just so much, being over inundated. And I'm glad that you guys are with me live right now. I'm so very happy because I want to hear your input. We're going to do a recap on all of the stories that we touched base on this week. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. Yes, it is over the top, Roosevelt. Roosevelt Media News says it's over the top. And it's almost as if we just can't put our finger on which part of the news we want to believe, right? If we believe any of it at all. And so the problem with that is we just got to go. We just got to hit it. We got to hit it. Let's see, like a distraction. Okay, so let's see. Let's just start up here. Hello, Roosevelt. Danielle, hello. You know, I like doing this, you guys, because when it's just us, I can just click the buttons and just say, hey, and see what everybody has going on. Hey, yep. Hey, girl. You see how the world is going. Yeah, it's going cuckoo. Cuckoo crazy. Hit that like button. Rachel comes in working. I just love it. Hey, Rachel Van Ziel. And Danielle agrees. Yes, over the top. Yes, we did say that. Yep, they were so And you know what, Awesome Alice, what's on the screen right there? We are going to do that tomorrow. I have a nice size panel that's coming on tomorrow. And we're going to talk about why they feel it necessary to go all the way back to the early 2000s and whip out a rap song that a lot of people probably in here were too busy making money to even knew exist. So you guys were going to talk about that story, Vax That Thing Up. And that's going to be tomorrow. I have a panel, so we're going to talk with a young man by the name of Bernard. We've got Kim coming to visit us, yay! And hopefully we will see a couple of folks that we haven't seen in a while. But nonetheless, listen, I think that is so appropriate for us to talk about tomorrow because I need to ask some people, why do you think it's okay for them to push this whole agenda towards vaxing that thing up, colloquialisms and all. All right, let's see. Like a distraction because versus, oh, yes, it baffles the brain. Yes, it does. Hang on, all this was just to get us on the roller coaster, and it ain't going to be fun. Eric, you are not wrong. You are absolutely right. Like when we were young, we would get, and what made me never want to ride a roller coaster anymore. Here, full transparency, was the fact, Eric, that we would wait in that long line. In California, we had a place called Magic Mountain. And so we would all have to wait in that line, and it would snake and turn and curve and turn and curve. And then finally, when we would get on the ride, I'm like, oh my gosh, here comes my lunch. Here comes my breakfast. I thought to myself, this is actually what I waited for them to make a reappearance of lunch and breakfast. So with that said, Eric, I hear you. I see what you're saying, and you are 110% right. It ain't going to be fun at all. Okay. King BJ, hello. I've been pacing the info influx to keep my sanity. I know that's right. Hey, Sandy Aaron, how are you? It's so good to see you. Okay. I'll give them something to... Rachel is going to be on the panel tomorrow. And so you guys know that Rachel, as well as Sandy, and Awesome Alice, all the ladies here, none of them hold back. They're all very bold. So we'll have Rachel's input tomorrow. So she says, it's like using sex appeal to sell cat food. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I will say that much. So here's what we're going to do. We did get some of our information from our... You know how I'm about that button. I had to do it. I just love it. So we got a lot of our information from our mailbag, our viewers' mailbag. They sent information to Felicia at FeliciaLockhart.com. Meow, Daniel says, meow. Is it Danielle or Daniel? You guys know I get a little dyslexic. And y'all know how I am. I thought that one of our good friends that we had a long time ago, she still comes in every now and then. She works a lot. But I thought it was a guy name because I was, raised in LA. We always used to refer to the guy as the OG. Anyway, so nonetheless, I'm right there with our Grant. Oh, it's a man. It's Daniel. All right, Daniel. Yay. Wait a minute. You know who used to call me brother all the time? Dave Hodges. He would see my thumbnail, and I think it's because he really couldn't see. He would always say, yeah, brother. I type something. He'd go, okay, brother. And I'm thinking, dude, I am so far from a guy. And I know that's how you feel too, Daniel. So Daniel's a man, y'all. Okay. All right, Mama Ray. Hey, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, it is good to see you. So let's just get into it. If you guys have not seen it, we are going to play some of our own videos, and then we're going to get right into it and talk about it. I think it's a needful thing because of the fact that we're not always able to share when I put up a video. I just thought it would be apropos for us to talk about it. Yeah, I think so. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about our good friend and how much they love us. They care for us so much. And we're not going to watch the whole video, y'all, but here we go. There it is. Facebook users. Have you ever felt like the posts or messages from your friends were leaning toward extremism? Have you ever lost sleep because you feared the block button wasn't enough to help you silence the noise of those you no longer wanted to hear from? Well, worry no more, because Facebook has found a way to shut down all that mindless dribble about them and they conspiracies, and now you can sleep better at night. Several Facebook users have reported receiving helpful warnings about extremists or extremist content. They read, quote, "Are you concerned that someone you know is becoming an extremist?" Another message says, quote, "We care about preventing extremism on Facebook. Others in your situation have received confidential support," close quote. These helpful messages then extend an invitation, a button that urges the user to get support, and clicking the button sends the user to another Facebook page about extremism. Now, there have been some others who reported receiving a message letting them know that they may have been exposed to harmful extremist content lately, just like a virus warning. The message further reads, quote, violent groups try to manipulate your anger and disappointment, close quote. Similarly, they offer a get support option. A recent Twitter post from a Facebook user says, quote, Facebook randomly sent me this notice about extremism when I clicked over the app. Pretty weird. The Get Support button just goes to a short article asking people not to be hateful, close quote. On July 1st, a Facebook spokesperson confirmed to the news outlet The Epoch Times that the company is currently running warnings as a test to some users. They said, quote, this test is a part of a larger work to assess ways to provide resources and support to people on Facebook who may have engaged with or were exposed to extremist content or may know someone who is at risk. We are partnering with NGOs and academic experts in this space and hope to have more to share in the future, close quote. The spokesperson said without elaborating. Well, I'm here to be helpful too, so I'm going to elaborate where they possibly could not. Under the spreading chestnut tree, I sold you and you sold me. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective. The Lockhart Perspective. Most assuredly, there's a problem there, right? Yeah, most assuredly, there's a problem. Because you and I know that the thing is, we would be considered like what Mama Ray just said. They already know I'm the extremist in their book, so they don't bother to warn me, LOL. I just thought to myself, this stuff is so 1984, it's creepy. It's beyond 1984, right? It feels as if we are going back to a time that reminds me of just, I don't know what to say. What do you guys think about what's going on? And I mean, here's the funny thing. I'm working on a project with somebody that they have some comedians or whatever that we're going to be dealing with. You guys saw Hope Flood about maybe a month ago when we did a small show where we were dealing with her program she's got coming up. So there's a lot of people that I am now helping her with on social media, Instagram, for example. And I had liked a lot and made a lot of comments on some of the comedians to drive the traffic. Well, I'm not a bot, I'm a person, but some of the stuff was hilarious that they were commenting on. And I just thought, well, gee whiz, this stuff's great. How about I get a message from Instagram saying, oh, you can't comment anymore for protection. And I'm paraphrasing, the protection of our community. I don't need you to protect me. I don't need any of these people to protect me. And see, that's where we are going wrong. That's where we're going wrong, because we're allowing them to, violate our rights just by saying that they're trying to protect us. And that's a problem. And I think that a lot of these companies, here's the thing, I think that when you see, former presidents and stuff like that, when they say, well, we're gonna sue them, we're gonna do this and that. What ends up happening oftentimes is, because we know that they are two-faced, what ends up happening is we end up paying the price. And that's how I see it. We end up paying the price. We do. Because then what happens is they go and they make all these little rules and these different things, and the rules end up affecting us. Yeah, they do. The rules end up affecting us. The exact same thing that happened before the last Mr. Naranga. Before he left, we ended up with more strict and stringent rules that are hampering us from being able to be free. And I'm done with it. I just, I'm, gee whiz, I'm to the point now where I just can't even stand it. But they did. They told me that I could not comment anymore because they feel as if, I'm being a danger because I find something funny. Frankly, at my age, especially dealing with like all the stuff that's going on with my daughter, the baby is born. She had a baby, but the baby is in NICU. And the fact that I've got all the humans here, right? Sometimes you just need to laugh, and sometimes you do go to social media, and it just so happens that I was on Instagram more than I've ever been on there, and I guess they put a stop to it. But the point is, you are protecting the community from who? Me? A little old grandmother that's just liking a comment or just making a comment on a photo of somebody else's grandchild? It's ridiculous. They have painted us into a corner. And I hear myself saying this way back from like the 90s. I was like, America, we're painting ourselves into a corner. We really are. We painted ourselves into a corner that where everything is so sensitive and everybody is so sensitive. And even as much as we've got all the people that are sensitive, we have grown as a culture to be the most vile and the most wicked of all. So you vile, you wicked, and you sensitive. That's too much. Forgot the name of the show, but I believe it was one of the folks in the chat that told me about a movie. And so I clicked the link and I saw it was Animal Farm. I think it was something farm. And I clicked the link and I watched it. It was the little animals, don't sleep on the bed. You guys tell me what the name of that was, because I don't remember. But I know that I went and I was able to find another movie on Prime that matched it. It's an Orwell movie, but it's an Orwell story. And it was about, telling the pigs, telling animals, don't sleep on the bed, and then don't do this, and then you can't do this, and you can't do that. Anyway, I ended up seeing the movie that was some 1990 or 2000 adaptation of this thing, and it was really corny. Yes, Animal Farm. Thank you, Sandy. And so, Sandy, do you know the one that they went back in a time capsule? It was the Minnie Riperton's daughter was in it, and another guy, and they ended up, she was supposed to be a prostitute or something like that, but they put her in the capsule, and then they put him out of the mailroom in the capsule, and then 500 years later, they pop up with their current mindset, or the mindset that they had prior to being in the capsule, and then I don't remember the name of the movie, y'all, but then anyway, that's what I'm telling y'all, so y'all can help me. Y'all know I get like Edith Bunker, okay? So anyway, I digress. So they were in the capsule, and then when they got out the capsule, they ended up walking around, and the people were absolutely dumb. Dumb as a box of rocks. Dumb as a package of weave hair. They were literally dodo birds. And this guy ended up taking the test, and they said that he was the smartest person, so they made him, I think, the Secretary of Interior or something like that. Anyway, long story short, it began to be a situation where everybody was so dumb and stupid that if you spoke anything that was logical, you were the problem. And that's exactly how it is right now. Everything in upside down world is so upside down that if you tell somebody that it's right and that it's right and it is right, they will argue you down as to why it can't be left. There is a gentleman right now. His name is Ollie. And he had a surgery, actually several surgeries. He's from Great Britain. And he made himself into a Korean, allegedly into a Korean, because the Koreans are having a fit. They're not accepting this guy. He's had 18 surgeries to make himself look Korean, and then he attempts to speak Korean. He says he's a Korean because he identifies with being a Korean. And so right now, this young man, who is an Anglo gentleman from the UK, is walking around with his eyes done, his nose, his face, his forehead pulled up, and a couple of facelifts, and he's literally walking around telling everybody that he is another person who is Korean, who is a K-pop star, okay, and that is now his name. Hello, Angela, how are you? Okay, you see what I mean? And so now everybody has to accept it. Everybody has to accept it. So you can send us emails and ask us, is anybody offending you? Do you feel unsafe while you're online? And yet and still, my little granddaughter cannot get in a race and run with other girls. They have to get in a race with a young man who now identifies with being a girl. And now all the girls who are really, truly good can't run against their own. They have to run against somebody who is genetically created to be stronger and faster. And you want us to be okay with it. But now you want to make sure that you feel safe while you're using social media. And it's all for my protection. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's all for my protection, right? And I don't have the right to say that the other thing is wrong. I don't have a right to say, hey, wait a minute, something ain't right about, homeboy coming in the bathroom with me and my granddaughter. I can't say that, because if I say that, then there's something wrong with me. But y'all already know I'm going to say it, right? Right? Yeah. Because it's just not normal. And there is such a thing as normal. It is. So you can't have, in this country, you cannot have the freedom of speech, although they continue to say that we have it. And then they want to hide behind organizations or groups that they say are a private business so they can do or say what they want to say. Really? Okay, fine. But then you get people like, I think it was the guy from Project Veritas who just won a situation. And you guys know I still get the willies about him. Verdict's out on him with me. Y'all already know that. I think it's great, but I just think he's always at a very convenient place at the right time. I don't know. Whatever. But I just think that, yeah, it's sad, and you want me to feel protected. So you're gonna stop me from making posts on the same, and at the same token, you want me to tell on my friends and relatives when all you got to do, if you don't want to hear what these people have to say, hitting you up in your inbox on any social media platform, they've got the block button. I use it all the time when people come into the chat with foolishness. You coming into the chat with foolishness, talking about people and acting crazy, I am going to block you. Why? Because if I don't block you, this particular platform will take me down because you were allowed to talk foolishness in their opinion. Even though it is your opinion, I get that. I do get it, right? But the fact is, if I don't, they're going to take me down. So I ain't going to lose out because of you, but that's the terrible situation that we're in right now. It is most assuredly a catch-22. Either you block them, madam, or we are going to block you. And that's exactly how they see it. You block them, or we gonna get rid of you. And unfortunately, I've done too much work to let you take me down. But I digress. That was amazing. I just thought it was crazy. And yeah, it is basically, complaint. Now, do you guys remember a few years ago where if you went on your Facebook page and you put in Facebook security and you'll see a list of people pop up, and maybe your auntie Nim on that list? One of my relatives were on that list, and I boldly called him and asked him why, when I go in this back page of Facebook, do you come up like that? I already knew the answer, but he had some crazy thing. He's a preacher, and he's a very liberal preacher. And he gave me some really quack and bull story about how his channel had been affected and how they had broke into his thing. And I said, and what did I do? I did just what everybody else can do. I blocked him. Why? Because if you don't like what I say and they have approached you as a member of the clergy response team to tell on people, okay? I got your DNA. Our blood is roaming through each other's veins, okay? And so I blocked him. Love him, but I blocked him. Let's go on ahead and see what we got going on up here. Let's see. So much craziness. I'm having drama on Facebook and forth, because I'm banned from my family reunion next year because I'm not. Oh, wow. Do you guys see that, what's on the screen right now? Poor Angela. What are you going to do? What? That is foolishness. You are banned. Wow. Well, they'll just be under the shedding chestnut tree out there by themselves, shedding, unfortunately. That's terrible. And I'm sorry. I feel you, girl, for real. I have grandbabies. Yep. The whole ordeal is just a huge gaslighting operation. It definitely is. Most assuredly, you're not feeling what you think you're feeling. Let me go back to Sandy's statement right there. You're not feeling what you think you're feeling. You're not feeling upset. Oh, come on now. It's okay. It's not that bad. Well, how bad is it? No, we feeling what we feeling, and you guys are the ones that are doing it, and we know it. So what do? Yeah, we keep speaking the truth. I don't care where you put me. I don't care what you do to this physical body. I'm going to tell the truth, period. Okay, get used to it. Suck it up, cupcake. Ozamala says, if he pulls out his sword, I will pull out mine and say on guard. There you go. Wow, Angela, that is a sad situation. It really is. It really is. But it's going to be happening to us more and more because the word everything that's in the word has to be revealed, even though I believe they are fast tracking a lot of it because they know the story. And so they just get enough quote unquote actors to act it out. And that's the way that we are right now. You know what I mean? That's just where we are right now. So yeah. Looks like Awesome Malice is cracking up laughing. She's always awesome, sassy. Yeah. So, you know what, you guys? I just tell you, it's sad. I'm not sure if you guys saw the video that we put up the other day about Biden. Of course, you know, he canceled out that Keystone XL pipeline, and I really don't think that people understand the totality of that. All right. Can't watch right now, but I wanted to say hello and have a great weekend. Kisses and hugs from Mississippi, and that's where I wish I was right now, at home in Mississippi, just relaxing. The joke's on them. I can't imagine too many will be at that reunion. I mean, I hope they'll be okay, but who knows? Yeah, I can imagine. Um, so yeah, but I don't know. I agree. I agree with everything you guys are saying, and it's sad because right now we're headed to that really we're fast tracking into the next phase. And I believe that if you practice, listen carefully. Last year, if you practice stocking up on things and you did a good job, you practiced well. The next thing is everything you practiced last year, you're going to need it really soon. Everything you practiced last year while it was an exercise, you're going to need it for real. Because look at how things are going. Everything is being attacked. The chicken company is having a cyber attack, and then we having a cyber exercise, and then this over here, you can't go buy this, and there ain't gonna be no more oil, and ain't gonna be no more this and that. The price right now of the oil that's coming over, we're getting it from over the water. Over the water, we're getting the oil. And we just cut off our own nose to spite our face. But who's going to stand up for that? So here's my thing. What you practiced last year, you're going to have to practice it again. Anybody see what happened? And this isn't one of the stories that we covered, but did anybody see the story? And I do believe that that came from our mailbag. I do believe it came from our mailbag, and I'm talking specifically about what just happened in New York. So they came 2 weeks ago off of the state of emergency. And now their governor, who I don't even understand why he's still alive, allowed to be there, why he's allowed to be there, okay? Why he is allowed. I'm saying it again so people know what I meant. I did not mean the other word that came out. But I don't know why he is allowed to continue. And he is allowed to now say it is a state of emergency against gun violence. And they've even come out so far as to say that, okay, yeah, it's a state of emergency, but it's not for people who have their legal arms, their legal weapons. Yes, it is. That's all y'all want. Look here, you not worried about Pookie Nim because y'all already know Pookie Nim ain't scared of y'all. And Pookie and them gonna make sure they got what they need. And Pookie and them not gonna go and turn in their stuff. All right, Pookie and them, whomever is got their stuff on them, they ain't gonna give up nothing. So of course you're gonna pick on the low hanging fruit. So now it's as if they said, okay, well fine. Cuomo had the last, well basically how many, 18 months now? He had a whole boatload of months, and he's just done everything he wanted to on his own. He has not utilized them or the legislature for anything. He's done what he's wanted to do on his own. And so now they're coming off of the pandemic. And after being on the pandemic and after having a state of emergency, they gave 2-week reprieve and then turned right around. And now they're back. They're back on hold. Yeah, they're back on this state of emergency thing. It's amazing and it's criminal. This country is becoming a criminal. It's beyond becoming a criminal network. It is. It's beyond that. It's a downright shame. And you know what? I was on somebody else's show a little bit ago. I was listening to a program where they allow you to call in. And somebody said, well, you know, when they start doing this to the children and this and that starts happening, then what they going to do then? They're going to go on ahead. Then it's going to be a uprising. No, it's not. It's not. You know why I say it's not? Because there are too many people who are anesthetized. There are too many people who are pretty much sprung on fluoride. Yep. Even though this is not one of the stories that we did this past week, and that is what this live is about, recapping, I think it's important for us to talk about this. Again, it came from our mailbag, and I want to thank the individual who sent it. Thank you so very much. Okay. This was done a day ago, right? So I'm on the other side. And I will go back over here and just read it to you all. All right. So the legal gun owners in New York State should be worried, it says. And again, it was posted yesterday. It says in Buffalo, New York, just 2 weeks after his emergency powers regarding the COVID-19 expired, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo declared a new state of emergency regarding gun violence. While exercising the extraordinary powers granted to him under the public health emergency he declared for the pandemic, Cuomo suspended or changed hundreds of laws in the state free of legislative oversight. To me, that's what they need to be talking about the next time they have a meeting. What should they be talking about next time they have a meeting? They should be talking about the fact that that should not be allowed. Okay? They should change that, where you cannot do anything that wasn't on the books before it was a state of emergency. You cannot arbitrarily just come in here and start doing things. You just can't. So now it goes on to say that his move to decree that gun violence is a public health emergency brought a swift response from the state assembly minority leader, Will Barclay, who stated, quote, the governor's decision to issue yet another executive order and declare gun violence as a public health emergency is another example of his incessant need to circumvent the legislature and dictate policy from his bully pulpit. Yeah, from the bully pulpit. That's exactly what he's being, a bully. Of course he is. It goes on to say that Senator Minority Leader Rob Ortt says, quote, if you are a gun owner and if you care about liberty and freedom and the Constitution, I would be very, very concerned about this. The governor is declaring a state of emergency, but I'd be very, very concerned about him doing it, is what he says. Cuomo took no questions from reporters when he made his announcement on Tuesday, but on Wednesday, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul addressed the declaration while visiting Buffalo and says, that's a pretty outfit, but quit, stop telling my business that I shop there. All right, so says, quote, well, it doesn't, says, when asked if she could assure legal gun owners that Cuomo would not use executive powers during a declared state of emergency to unilaterally enact more gun control measures, Hochul replied, to the gun owners who may be anxious, legal guns are safe, and we're going after illegal guns that find their way into our state. I think everyone, regardless of whether you are a gun owner or not, will appreciate the fact that the state of New York is trying to protect everyone. You trying to protect everybody? Really? Then I can think of a whole boatload of things that you need to protect people from. You need to protect people from you guys. Really, to be candid, all of government needs to just be shut down. Every single branch of it. All of it. We need to have our own communities and handle our own business. Get out of our faces. That's exactly what I think. It's getting really, really bad. It's getting sickening. Yeah, it really is. And so that's what I think. I think the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And I think that they just need to scram. It's what they need to do. They need to just scram. Just scram. Because what's happening now is people are not able to live their lives free without being assaulted, pretty much. You cannot do anything right now without somebody else being involved in your business. At all. You can't. Do you realize that over the last year, we have spoken to strangers, even though we were supposed to be exercising social distancing? At one point or another, you've had more interactions with strangers because of your belief system, if you have been going out a lot. And if you hadn't, then that's understandable. But if you have gone to the grocery store and you've elected not to do X, Y, or Z, you've had people even looking at you that you did not want to look at you. People challenging you that you did not want to be challenged by. I had to get to the point to where people had to understand. You look me in my face, you better understand that this grimace that you see is not going any place. If you don't want to have a conversation with me, get out of my face. And that's how my face looked. But you guys, in a minute, people are going to be so emboldened to get up in your face because they're going to be on that liquid crack, if you know what I mean, the glow in the dark crack. That's going to make everybody feel like they can just get in your face. So they're not trying to protect everyone. They're trying to control everyone because they already know that they ain't dropped the hammer yet. When they drop the hammer on the real junk that's about to go on, they know good and well that people are going to go up in their closet and get out that box. And that's the reason why they're trying to get them out your house. And that's the reason why they are. And remember now, you guys got to remember the Smith-Mundak, y'all don't forget the Smith-Mundak is still out there. And it's just the same way it was when they rearranged it. It ain't changed back to the original meaning of things. So you got a lot of folks that's putting on the Ritz. A lot of folks is acting. And what did I tell you guys about 2 months ago? What did we talk about 2 months ago? I said you guys are going to see a lot more young people like the story that we did about the 12 and the 14-year-old. You're going to see a whole lot more stories like this because they need to play and pull on your heartstrings. They need to. They need to pull on your heartstrings. It's necessary that they do it. It's necessary that they do it. Yeah, that's exactly right. It is necessary for them to do that. So that's the reason why they're allowing those stories to come out. And again, remember, they're actors that do a lot of stuff. Bad actors. And when I say bad actors, I mean the ones that couldn't get an Oscar. All right? A lot of stuff that's pulling on the heartstrings, making you feel emotional, making you feel like, oh my gosh, this is just so terrible. What are we going to do? Oh, yes, take them, please. Please take them away. Run, please, run. Yes, I saw that. Yes, I did, Sandy Aaron. Yes, I did. And so we just got to sit back in the cut, right? We don't get to say nothing to that. I watched it. Made me very upset. So we're not supposed to say nothing about that. You come for these if you want to. I hope you come correct. Because I'm being real honest with these. I'm telling them exactly from where you hail. Pun intended. Okay? I'm telling them exactly from whence you came. From the pit of hell. Yeah, I saw that. And they bold with it right now. They're so bold with it. Well, just as much as they are bold, you got to be bold back. Okay? And I think a lot of times we get to the point where we're like, well, I'm going to be respectful. Yeah, you can be respectful. But boo-boo, I'm going to look you in your eye and make you know you ain't coming over here with all of that mess. Be afraid of me. I ain't scared of y'all. Demons from the pit of hell. Ain't nobody scared of y'all. Ain't nobody scared of y'all. Y'all going right back down there at Frisco with that mess. That's exactly right. Go on back down there to Frisco with that mess. Stepping over dog poop, human poop looking like it's dog poop. Y'all need to get that straight. You guys can't even get that straight. Passing out needles and stepping over dog poop. And every time somebody come from out of the country, a dignitary or something, then they going out there and clean it up. Hiring people at $25 an hour to pick up poop. Frisco got their own problem. They got a couple of them. California got a whole bunch of them. So in order for people to say things like, oh, they're not going to take it. They're going to do this and they're going to do that. They're going to do this to people and they're going to do that to people. And they're going to be, they're not going to take it. They're not going to take it. Yeah, they are. They're going to take it because we've been taking it. Have you seen anybody stand up? Hey, Black Spring. Have you seen anybody stand up to any of this mess? Any of it? We ain't stood up to nothing thus far. So what? Now they coming for the kids. You got 13-year-old babies passing away of this other stuff. So at what point are they supposed to be standing up? At what point are we standing up? When? When does it happen? Black Spring, when does it happen? Does anybody know when it happens? Does anybody know when it's going to happen? I'd like to know. When, you know, is Sideshow Bob gonna be, president by then? Oh, he's already president. I forgot. When are we going to stand up? I hear a lot of people saying that when they come for the kids, and then they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. No, they're not. No, they're not. If all things are equal, and there was a true story that was publicized a few weeks back with that 13-year-old baby that's no longer here on this planet, then it shows we're not. My question is, at what point does it change? At what point does it change? Okay? When Pandora's box got open, I knew all the filth was going to pour out. Most assuredly. Black Spring says, it seems many are afraid to wake up, and it's getting nauseating. It is nauseating. What is left to say? What is left to say? There's nothing left for us to say. Here in New York, they just got through saying that it's to keep the people safe. We don't need you to do that. Just move out the way. If you get out of my way, I can get where I got to go. Move out my way. I don't want to talk to nobody. Have you ever been in that situation where you do not want to speak to anybody, and because of this now you find yourself having to stop and wait at a door for somebody to do something? Whatever these quacky ideas that these people who have no medical degrees for have come up with at the local grocery store or A&P for you to do, you got to stand there and wait. And you really don't feel like talking to nobody sometimes. You just don't. You just do not. You just don't feel like it. And now all of a sudden you got to talk. Kathy Halchel continues and says that gun violence, and that was an end quote from her, but gun violence has soared in recent months in many of the nation's large cities, including several in New York, according to the police and prosecutors. The violence seldom involves lawful gun owners using legal registered weapons. Instead, it is almost always from the hands of those who are using obtained weapons that have been obtained illegally. Among a myriad of proposals made by Cuomo are measures to try to stem the tide of illegal guns on the street. I got an idea. Quit dropping them in the alleys in the black folks' neighborhood. Point blank. I'm going to say it. I said it. It was me. And you know it's real. Anybody who's out there to know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. Y'all drop them in the alleys in Detroit. Y'all drop them in the alleys in Chicago. Yeah, you guys drop them in the alleys in Chicago. You drop them in the alleys in the Bronx. Yeah, you do. By the crate load. Then y'all want to say you want to stop it. No, you don't. Stop dropping them in the alleys. We see you, and we've been seeing you, and we've been knowing it, but ain't nobody ever stopped to talk to the other folks. And so now we all can connect the dots. I know black brothers who said that they dropped them off in Watts. I know black brothers who said that they dropped them off in the alleys in Chicago, that they dropped them off in the alley, go outside, they go in the house, they go back outside, and there is a crate full of, dude, come on now. This is real. This is real. So now we all together. See, they didn't expect for us to be together. They didn't want for me and you to be together. Rachel, Sandy. See, they didn't know we was girls. They didn't know y'all my girls. We girls. Angela, they didn't. But that's the real truth. They didn't want us to let y'all know that we know Pookie Nim was in the house, and when Pookie Nim went back outside in the alley, there was a whole bunch of stuff that they could have never, ever, ever purchased, either on the black market or legally. That's the truth. That's the truth. There you go. Telling the truth. Oh, well, it ain't fashionable, and it's okay. But I'm going to say it anyway. Hey, wearing white after Labor Day ain't fashionable, but your girl, I'm going to do it anyway, especially if the outfit is fly. I don't care. If I bought it, I'm rocking it, and therefore I will tell the truth. It don't matter if it's in season for you all or not. I'm going to tell it. Yeah. That's right. Among a myriad of proposals made by Cuomo are measures to try and stem the tide of illegal guns on the street. A New York Senator, Sean Ryan, is also believes that that lawful gun owners should not fear about. They should not fear. You shouldn't fear about any more of their rights to carry firearms being taken away through some executive order during a declared state of emergency. Quote, he, Cuomo, had the enhanced powers that were granted to him during the pandemic, but those powers are gone, close quote, Ryan said. Ryan emphasized the word enhanced in saying that is a key difference between the powers Cuomo would have under his latest declared state of emergency and that which was declared during the pandemic. According to Ryan, Cuomo can exercise no more authority in this declared emergency than he always had during emergencies prior to the pandemic, such as during a snowstorm or other disasters. Well, in some disasters, didn't they go through different places and kick doors in, tell people to get out their house, and if they had any weapons to get, put the weapons, give us the weapons? Didn't they do that? I know they did in Louisiana. I mean, isn't that what they do? Look here, this ain't our place no more. And these people are letting us know more and more every single day that this place ain't your place no more. They're already instituting laws and rules that say you can't talk about these people right here, because if you say something wrong to them, may love you a long time, say something wrong, say something bad about them, you going away. They already let you know that if you say or something, do something, they just created a law for that. So that ought to let you know who coming next. I keep referencing the fact that if you burn down a building and all you see is the building is gone, but the trees around it are still standing, and it's a major blaze, taking up a whole hillside, all the way down into the city, that ought to tell you that was on purpose. How you see a tree still standing, burning from the inside out? Better do the math. Somebody coming for what belonged to them. Now, I want to put a pencil there, because when I talk about housing and when I talk about who owns what land, I do want to make it very plain. When you see the signs that say, we buy ugly houses, we buy ugly houses, who buying the ugly houses? I'll hold. Who buying the ugly houses? Who purchasing all them ugly houses? Why? Why are you buying the ugly house? Is it because of the land that the ugly house sit on? So if you can't get an ugly house purchased quick enough, then what do you do to the neighborhood that you want to, gentrify for others to come into? It's just a thought. Hey, I don't know nothing. I'm just saying. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all. Just trying to put the two and two together. That's all. Okay? All right? That's all I'm trying to do. Just put it all together. So when you consider the fact that now you got a whole bunch of people not really privy to why they might be saying that if you own a home and you got somebody renting in it, the CDC now says that they can stay in certain states. They can stay in the house, and you, the landlord, can't do nothing. Meanwhile, you got folk running around here telling you, we'll buy your house, we'll buy your house, we'll buy your house. Listen, that moratorium was not for the people, especially when you consider what was going on in Louisiana last year. That was not for the people. It was because the plan is to make enough landlords tired of not being able to meet their mortgage that when these black what's the figums, and I'm not going to say the full name, but when they come to you with mail or some type of way to get you to sell your property to them, you are willing to give it up. You are willing to give it up. You willing to give that land up because why? The CDC said the people that's living in it don't have to pay no rent. But then they forget to tell you that most of the folks that's sitting in them houses have been getting nothing but massaged in their pocket with possibly what was intended to be the Nasara money. That's probably where all that money came from. People talk about, where they get it, they printing it, they printing it, wait, they printing it, yeah, they printing it. But don't forget, they were supposed to pass something out a long time ago. And maybe all of this money that they passing out, slow drip, could be that money. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But let's look at it. You ain't going to leave your house because they say you have suffered from the pandemic. Get it. I understand that. Let's leave that there. Okay? You've suffered. But we're going to floss you with a couple of grand here, a couple of grand there, a couple of grand here and there. Because you lost your job, we're going to drop another couple of bucks on you every month up until the 26th of last month when it ended. Okay? They were dropping money on top of the unemployment money. So how come they had to have everybody have a rent, moratorium on paying the rent? Why did they have to do that? Why did they have to do that? Why did they have to do that? They had to give you the money in your pocket and watch you go out here and help stimulate and tickle Amazon, stimulate and tickle Walmart.com, stimulate and tickle anybody else who's going to deliver something to your door because you're too afraid to go out and you don't want to have to deal with putting on a mask. You don't want to have to deal with any of this other stuff. So we're going to go on ahead and make this big round circle just for you. You don't want to leave the house. You're going to get this money that we're going to give you. You're not going to pay your rent because we just told you didn't have to pay your rent. Meanwhile, cat that own the house, we're going to need you to pay your mortgage, player. And if you can't pay it, that's okay. We want the land so we can turn people into permanent renters. So we're going to let these folks come in and offer you money to help you because you know it's too heavy to hold that weight, not being able to pay your mortgage every month because you got them squatters that we help sit there on you. Yeah, that part. That's what that is. Do y'all see that? Am I reaching? I might be reaching. I'm probably reaching. It's probably not a plan at all. Valerie, hello. It's so good to see you. It's probably not a plan at all. It's probably just a situation that would say, it's all good. You can stay. We just want to do we want to do right by you. No, what you all are trying to do is take over the country. And you're using everybody that you can. You're using everybody that you can to get it done and to do it. And that's what I have a problem with. You can't tell me that you're trying to protect me. I can protect myself. Even Yahweh Shah said himself, look here, while I'm here with you guys, you don't need the protection. But as soon as I leave and the comforter come in, you better get your purse. And if you ain't got your purse, he said, go get that cloak and sell it. Then get your purse right. Yeah, if you ain't got it, you better get on out here, get your cloak and go sell it. And get you one. You better go get it. You better go get it fast. Right? And so for those people who do own land or own houses right now, you got to know what I'm saying, especially if you are in that situation where they've now said, hey, we're going to do another moratorium on it again. But then there was a high court that just recently, I forgot which one it was, but they just went ahead and said, hey, no, you don't have right to do X, Y, or Z. All I have to say is I feel really, really sorry for the people who are living in New York and really, really sorry for the people who are out west in California. And it's just so orchestrated that you could see right through it. Rachel Van Ziel says, door to door, don't answer or be prepared to be silent or speak your piece. Know your rights. I know that's right. Okay, I'm going to stick something on the door just like Monty said. No soliciting. None. They want the landlords to lose their property to the banks. Absolutely. And in comes, is it BlackRock financing? Who is it, you guys? Hey, Gerald. Happy Friday, everyone. Hello, Miss Felicia. How are you doing today, girl? I'm doing good. And it is outstanding to see you on this, thank goodness it's Friday afternoon. So we've got a few more minutes, you guys, and then we've got a couple of more stories that we're going to recap from this week so we can talk about it and we can figure out how you guys felt about it. Let's go on ahead. I do want to talk about I do want to talk about the Keystone being canceled. I do, because I don't think a lot of people really get how that affects us. I really don't. And the thing is they're really trying to make it to where you don't have nothing that runs on gas no more. And for anybody who thinks that that's an okay thing, I'm startled. I'm startled that you think that's okay, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and watch this right quick here. It's a really quick one. It's not going to take long, but let's talk about it. Okay, let's chat. Taxpayers could be on the hook for more than $15 billion after Biden canceled the Keystone XL pipeline permit. Now, the taxpayers may be on the hook to compensate the Canadian energy company behind the Keystone XL pipeline project. Just as he promised, President Joe Biden revoked the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline on his first day in office, and the move to appease the climate change hawks probably made them all happy, but it resulted in thousands of hardworking construction workers losing their jobs. TC Energy, the Canadian-based company responsible for the pipeline, is seeking to recover more than $15 billion in damages that were caused by Biden's permit cancellation. In a news release last week, the company said that it had filed a notice of intent to initiate a legacy North American free trade agreement under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement to recover the economic damages resulting in from the revocation of the Keystone XL's project presidential permit. The notice was filed with the State Department. The announcement comes after TC Energy officially canceled the Keystone XL pipeline project last month, and the company said that it would coordinate with regulators, stakeholders, and indigenous groups to meet its environmental and regulatory commitments to ensure safe termination and exit from the project. And that means, according to Yahoo Finance, undoing pipeline construction that was already completed. Only about 10% of the construction was finished. The 1,179-mile pipeline, with an $800 billion price tag, would have transported 800,000 barrels of crude oil per day from the tar sands of Canada through the United States. The Biden administration has yet to respond to TC Energy's claim. The Biden administration was also sued by 21 states for canceling the Keystone XL construction permit, and those states allege Biden exceeded his presidential authority in revoking the permit. It says, quote, "Revocation of the Keystone XL pipeline permit is a regulation of interstate and international commerce, which can only be accomplished, as any other statute can, through the process of bicameralism and presentment. The president lacks the power to enact his ambitious plan to reshape the economy in defiance of Congress's unwillingness to do so. To the extent that Congress has delegated such authority, it would violate the non-delegation doctrine. But Congress has not delegated such authority. It sets specific rules regarding what actions the president can take about the Keystone XL, and when the president, together with various senior executive officials, violated those rules, the actions should be set aside as inconsistent with the Constitution and the administrative procedure." They also list the act here, Act 5 U.S.C. 500 et sec. Now, among the states that have joined the lawsuit include Texas, Montana, Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Ohio, North Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Mississippi, Louisiana, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming, and Alaska and Florida have since joined the lawsuit. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart News Brief. So now you see there that not only did he stop them, okay, not only did he prevent them from continuing, now we are in breach. And now we are carrying that $15 billion price tag. Do you understand? We are carrying the $15 billion price tag. Sure, we are. Even though these states have sued, we already know that right now somebody is very rogue and they don't care what happens. Nobody cares anything about the Constitution. So I really don't want to hear anybody talking about it because they don't care. They're doing whatever they want. Whatever they want. They do whatever they want. You can't do it now. Don't even think for a second that you can, because you cannot. You do what you are told. And if you don't, and somebody feels like you are giving them information, they are going to tell on you under the spreading chestnut tree. That's what they're going to do. They're going to 1984 you. And you already heard them, because Facebook just told you that if you got some problems with these cats, these jokers that just won't stop, all you got to do is push the button and tell us all about it, baby. Yeah. This cat just took all of these jobs from people, but you can't say a thing. And if you are one of them, all we can do is play taps in your honor, because it's over. Where are they going? Most of the folks that have been working for so many years on projects like this type of stuff, okay? If you are a man of a certain age and you are attempting to take care of your family, and yes, I am using men because the man generally is supposed to be the one who is working for their family. You got a lot of good men out there that are taking a really bad hit lately. In the media and everywhere else, I'm going to isolate the man for a second. If you are a man who you're of a certain age and you've been out there working your hardest and you've been doing your best to take care of your family, and you finally got to where you're almost at that door where it's going to be time to retire pretty soon. And then all of a sudden somebody comes right there and just snatches the rug from up under your feet. You're 60, you're 55, you're 58. Where you going to make the kind of money you just made? They already know that. You ain't going nowhere. In sets the depression. In sets the wife, being a little upset, being a little hurt. She'll try to hold on as long as she can. Most women have not mastered how to love their spouse through something like that. And then there are some that have. And I hope that if the man that's listening to me right now that fits that scenario, I hope he has a good one. Because studies show that when families and husbands and wives end up going to divorce, the woman is the first person to file for the divorce. And then secondly, the problems are caused because of lack of finances. And a man processes things differently than we women do. Sometimes they get quiet. Sometimes they drink and they're quiet. Sometimes they drink and they're loud. But I know a lot of chicks who like that. A loud drunk. Okay? But the man is going to wear that. So just like Rachel said, keep your heads up and don't give up, brothers. If you are in this type of situation where you're basically, see, listen, we're not talking about this topic right here. All we know is that the Keystone Pipeline permit was taken back, it was revoked, but nobody is focusing on how many cats and chicks was out there working, taking care of their families. This is not just it being revoked. These are people who had their livelihoods based on what they were able to produce on their gig, and they don't have it anymore. There's been nothing but mayhem after mayhem after mayhem created. Okay? And you already know that I'm not partisan. You already know that I'm not no Biden fan. I ain't no former Trump fan, who, by the way, just may be on his way back here in some form or another. It may not be listed as a president, but this cat here is literally campaigning for something. So we all better be looking out. Because if Mr. Naranga comes back in any way, shape, or form, please head for the hills. That's going to be a double whammy for your mammy if homeboy come back. In any way, shape, or form. But I'm telling you, this man is up to something. He is up to something. Yeah, he is. So right now you'll have a lot of men and a lot of women, or people, specifically men, who were working on that pipeline. All of those construction workers who no longer have a way to take care of their families. And there will be more depression. And on top of that, you just lost the opportunity to be able to glean any extra money because of COVID. Isn't it ironic that this permit on day one was done, But now they just pulled it. Think about that. Whew. The Savior. That's what they want him to be. That's exactly what they're painting him out to be. Yep, that's exactly what they're painting him out to be. And I get so concerned when I hear people that I know still holding on to, he's coming on this date, he's coming on that day, he's coming on this. I mean, you think they were talking about the second coming of the Messiah. You would think that they were literally talking about with this 10 wise and 10 foolish. And then the bridegroom came when the other chicks went to the store to go get their oil. And then they came in and the bridegroom. Do you think they was talking about the bridegroom and that ecclesia was waiting? Yes, Roosevelt, he is. It's not going to be good, Alan. And Alan, thank you so very much for those kind words of condolences for my sister. Thank you very much. Okay? It's not going to be good, though. It's not going to be good. Yes, absolutely. Black Spring, dismal times. That's absolutely right. So now the final story that we're going to do, because I just had to have a conversation with you guys. I had to find out where you guys were on this. Really, I had to figure out how many false prophets can be wrong. You see what I'm saying, Alan? Those who got them 501c3s who ain't listening. Same old foolishness of trusting in man. When will they learn? They won't. The final story that we're going to do is one that it's not something that's new, you guys. It's something that's been going on. But I think that right now, the issue is that it is so disgusting that they're this close. And the thing that I really want to talk about is how much of the money that it's taking to do this, how much of the money is really from us. You see, they want to always just say that it's China bad. Okay? That's what they want to say. But they do not want you to understand that America bad too, because we right there with them. I want you guys to look at the contrast and comparison in the next story that we're about to play. Okay? And then after that, we're going to close this party up. Forced organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners and other political prisoners in China has raised increasing concern within the international community. According to a report by former lawmaker David Kilgore, human rights lawyer David Matas, and journalist Ethan Gutman, political prisoners, mainly Falun Gong practitioners, are being executed on demand in order to provide organs for transplant to recipients. The organ harvesting has taken place both as a result of the Chinese Communist Party's persecution of Falun Gong and because of the financial incentives available to institutions and individuals involved in the trade. Now, China has been investing heavily in controversial research on using genetically modified pigs as a source of human organ transplantation, touting it as a world-first achievement. Now, I know if you're like me, you're asking, how could they do this? Well, xenotransplantation. It's a medical procedure whereby animal organs are transplanted into humans. And according to a Xinhua report that was published September of 2020, gene editing related startups in China alone had received the equivalent of $310 million in funding. Get this, I want you to hold on to this really, really carefully because this is important. Luhan Yang is the founder of Huihan Biotech in Hangzhou, China. She's also the co-founder and chief scientist of the Cambridge gene editing company eGenesis in Boston, Massachusetts. She and a team of scientists have created a prototype xenograft with clinical potential, successfully solving two of the major xenograft safety challenges. Now, the first one was removing porcine endogenous retroviruses from pigs and enhance xenograft immunocompatibility. Now, Yang's research was also published in Nature Biomedical Engineering in September of 2020. The co-authors of the paper include, get this, Huihan Biotech, Harvard University, Massachusetts General, eGenesis in Boston, Massachusetts, and Yunnan Agricultural University in China. The paper describes how CRISPR-Cas9 knockout and transposon gene insertions technologies were used to modify a group of genetic cassettes in pigs to further enhance the pig's immunological compatibility and blood coagulation compatibility with humans. The paper says, quote, "The engineered pigs exhibit normal physiology, fertility, and germline transmission of the 13 genes and the 42 alleles edited," close quote. Prior to this, there had been several technological breakthroughs in genetically modifying pigs to make organs more suitable for human transplantation, several of which resulted from the work of Yang's mentor at Harvard Medical School, Professor George Church. Now, as a little side note, something that I thought was unique, Church has been an outspoken individual as it relates to following a vegan lifestyle for reasons concerned with health and environmental and moral issues. But I just thought that that was a bit unique, that this is something that he believes in, not eating animals. But in 2015, Yang, along with Church, founded eGenesis in Boston, which received $38 million and $100 million in 2 rounds of funding in 2017 and in 2019, and another $125 million in March of 2021 in a 3rd investment round. There's somebody pouring a lot of money to figure out how to make chimera, human chimera. 1 Corinthians 15:39 says, "All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one flesh of man, and another flesh of beasts, and another of the fish and of the birds." So no matter what you do, you could never be the Most High Yah. Remember, we've been here before. This has been tried time and time again. And the last time it was water. The next time, it'll be fire. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective.
Lockhart Perspective.
Well, folks, there you have it. They are very much so, Daniel. Dr. Moreau, most assuredly on that island, chops and pieces and parts and all kinds of stuff. But see, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about this. No, why? Because it's just not good and it might shock somebody. Okay? All right? It's amazing to me that this is the time. But listen, who have they been blaming it on, which is really what I wanted as far as the contrast and comparison. I really wanted to talk about who else is involved. Over $273 million by themselves did those 2 individuals that you see that are here in the United States as well as China, because this woman has her hand or her foot here and her foot over there. Hand and foot, one in one place. And all the money is coming in, and it's coming in because of both of them, not just her or him. They're both raking it all in. $373 million. Now, what I did do is, of course, you know me, I get to digging and I get to looking. Okay. And once I started digging and I started looking, I found that there is somebody who is on the board of her company who used to work for a little bitty, you know who I always like to talk about. Help me, Smithers. He used to work on his board. And so where's all the other money coming from? Pigs. Yes, the demons were sent into pigs. Most assuredly they were. They actually begged. Those spirits begged. Those demons begged to be put into the pigs. And then they ran them off the side of that mountain and went straight down into the sea. Sure did. Come on now, Sister Preacher. Come on, Angela. Okay. All right, Rachel. All right, Sandy. That's exactly right. And not only that, just to show you how foul it is, our Father tells us what we can and can't eat. He said it. Now, I know what Peter said. I know how they all said he would rise, Peter, slay, and eat. I know all of that, but I also know about the Flavians. I also know about a whole lot of other cats that started dibbling and dabbling with the true book, with the true words. I know about all of that. See, now, if I didn't know about that, then I would accept that part that says, rise, Peter, slay, and eat. There was a reason why he said, don't mess with them. There's a reason why. I submit, we're learning. Now, why did they have to go inside of there and they had to use the specific technologies that they did to pull out that one particular thing? Do you know why? Because that's where the poison is. They have no veins. They have no veins. So whatever is in them is in their actual tissue. There's no veins. So whatever is there is going to be in you, because why? You not only now are what you eat, but what you got inside you, what they put in you. Yeah. Not only are you what you eat, but you also now what's inside you. Now do not forget that they have been using valves and things of that nature already from pigs. Please, please, please understand that. But remember what I just told you about the Falun Gong? Remember them? They are now going to use, because they have to use your emotions. They're now going to use the emotions to get your buy-in. Everybody does, Daniel. Everybody does. My sister has a way that she cooks it. Ronnie's wife, she takes turkey bacon, and he says she can make it taste exactly like the bacon he used to love before we came into truth. Okay? But if you think about that, it's something about that pig. That's why I don't buy that whole rise, Peter, slay, and eat piece that everybody wants to say, well, it's blessed. You can bless it. Really? Then that means you should be able to bless anything. Even that, yeah. And anything else your brain is thinking about right now. Yeah. You should be able to bless anything and need it to be okay, right? Come on now. You know we do a lot of stuff to our bodies. You know we do. You know we do. Roosevelt Media News says dentists use pig bone also after an extraction. Good to know. It's good to know. Somebody, and I do believe that it was Angela, who mentioned, there you go, the Nephilim. That's why at the end of the video, what you heard me say was, we've seen this, we've done this, we've been here before. That was the series we were working on a few months ago. We've been here before. We have been here before. When you think you're looking at an Egyptian fresco inside of a cave or something like that, a picture, and you see what looks like a donkey head, a dog head, or some type of animal head, that is really the person. Because that is what was going on then. This is nothing new. There is nothing new under the sun. But when the word of Yah tells us that they went into the sons of the daughters of men, they went into them. This is how they're going into them now. There's nothing new. Last time it was by water. Now it's going to be by fire. Nothing's new. When they got rid of using man, the word tells us that they went into the birds. They went into the fowl. They went into the beast of the field, and they went into the birds. Hence, you end up with pterodactyls that look like dinosaur. You got dinosaur that are huge. You got the mastodon, the huge gigantic elephant. Think it not strange that they roamed this earth thousands upon thousands, if not millions of years ago, because we've been here before. But they're doing it right under your nose right now. That part. That's exactly what's going on. We right back where we were before, y'all. And he said, don't worry. It ain't gonna be no water. Here go a rainbow. I'm gonna give you this rainbow, baby, because it ain't gonna be like that next time. This is my covenant that I'll never use water again. Okay? Next time it's gonna be fire. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for checking in with us this afternoon, evening, to thank goodness that it's Friday. Let's talk about this week's posts. Thank you for joining me. I love each and every one of you guys, and I want to thank those folks who have sent support via PayPal And via how else did we get it this week? We have Patreon. I thank you. I thank PayPal. Somebody sent things by PayPal, and others have sent monies by Cash App. Blessings to you guys. You all have no idea how much it means. I mean, thank you guys. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell you thank you. And you know, the funny thing about it is, if it's not a bunch of money, that's all good. You know why I'm happy? Because y'all put me on your heart. And I know sometimes people say, oh, that wasn't but this, or that wasn't but this, or that. It doesn't matter. The fact that he put me on your heart lets me know that I heard him when he said, drop your job and just do this. It doesn't matter what it is, because I thank him for it. I thank him for you. And then he does miraculous things with it. And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for giving. You guys have given, and it has blessed me. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And even for those of you who can't do anything but watch a commercial before it starts, remember, we are not doing any advertisement on anything that we know is going to cause an issue. We're leaving that alone. We're not doing nothing on that. Remember, no monetization on any of those, right? But anything that costs me to make it, that has to be compensated. All y'all got to do is, if you see a commercial, those of you who don't do nothing but watch the commercial, Yah bless you. And I thank you guys for being with me. We are going to go ahead and get out of here. And I want to see you guys all tomorrow night, because we're going to be talking about that show. Vax that thing up. Anytime somebody trying to get hot and funky with you with that kind of, come on girl, vax that thing up, you already know who they talking to. That's going directly. They took 2 Louisiana rappers and put them up. And tomorrow night, we are going to have a great panel that's going to talk about the campaign, from going door to door, from going into the barbershops. We're going to talk about the song, Vax That Thing Up. We are going to have a good time. Okay, so y'all bring your pretzels, bring your popcorn, okay? Bring whatever you do, bring it. All right, bring it, boo-boo. If you eat Fritos, Cheetos, I ain't one to judge you. Bring cereal, bring anything, but come on. All right, it'll be 7 o'clock Central Time. We do have panel guests that will be with us. I love each and every one of you guys. Remember what we always say here on this channel, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. I love you. I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off, because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day.